Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video tutorial, I'll be showing you how to crochet this Nantucket inspired summer cottage, if you will, with the hydrangea bushes. So for this pattern, you will need a 6.5mm crochet hook, a 5mm crochet hook, scissors, a tapestry needle, and then 4 medium weight yarn. I have two different colors of gray and then white, this blue, and then a different blue, purple, and pink for the hydrangeas, and green, and then and black for the doorknob. And then I used felt for the back just to make it a little more sturdy. You'll also need hot glue and glue sticks. That's how I piece everything together. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with making the actual house, and I'm going to be using this gray silvery yarn. It's just 4 medium weight. It's cotton yarn. I believe this is Shiny Happy Cotton from Wool and the Gang. I will link this in my blog post with all the other materials that I use. But I'm going to start with 2 strands of the yarn on a 6.5mm hook. You don't have to do this. You could just use 1 strand and a 5mm hook and do the exact same dimensions that I'm doing. I like to double it up and use a thicker hook, especially for like the bigger parts, like making the actual house, because it just takes less time and you cover up more surface area with less stitches. And I just like that because I really like quick patterns. And then I also feel like it just makes the house a little bit more sturdy and thick. So that's what I'm starting with. So you'll take your 6.5mm hook, make a slip knot, and then we're going to chain. We're starting off with the bottom of the house, and you're going to chain 17 and then skip the first chain, make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then just single crochet all the way across. So once you single crochet across the whole chain, you're left with 16 single crochet. And if you're doing a different hook size and yarn size than me, you want this to be about 5.5 inches long. So now you'll just chain up 1, turn your work, and now you'll just keep working in rows, just going back and forth, chaining 1 and turning. So then you want to crochet, keep crocheting even rows of 16 single crochet until you have 14 rows, and this is also 4 inches tall if you're doing it with a different hook size. So now we're going to start, so this is like the house, and now we're going to start to make the peak of the house. So you'll chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to decrease. So we're going to combine these first two stitches. So insert your hook, pull a loop through, then insert your hook into the next stitch, pull a loop through, then yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. So now we've just combined those 2 stitches, and then you're going to single crochet in the next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 single crochet. So you're going to crochet in the next 12 and then do the same thing, decrease in the last 2 stitches. And then chain 1, and now you're just going to evenly single crochet across for this next row. So that next row was 14 single crochet, and now we're going to chain 1, turn, and you're going to do the same thing. You'll decrease in the first 2 stitches and then go across, and then decrease in the last 2 stitches. For this row, you'll end up with 12 stitches, and then after that, you'll just evenly crochet across again with 12 single crochet. Okay, so I just did 12 and 12, and now I'm just going to repeat doing that. So for this next row, I'll decrease the first 2 and the last 2 stitches, and then evenly single crochet across. So that'll be 10 and then 10 and then 8 and 8 and 6 and 6, and you just keep going until you get to the peak. Okay, so once you have gotten to 6 stitches, so you decreased, you did 4 single crochet and then decrease again. Instead of doing 6 going across, now we're just going to decrease in every row. So I'm going to, after I've done the decrease to 6, now I'm going to decrease to 4. 1, 2, 3, and then decrease in the last one. So now I've done 4 stitches, and now I'm going to decrease to 2, which means I decrease the first 2 and decrease the last 2, and then chain 1, and now I'm just going to stitch all this together and make a slip knot and be done. That way it doesn't get too you know, long at the peak. So now you're done with the bones of the house, the frame or the siding, if you will, and you can just make a slip knot, pull the tail through, and now just weave in that tail. You can weave it in a few more times and then just cut it. But here's the frame of the house. So let's just measure this. From the tippity top to the bottom is 7 inches. 7 inches by, like, I don't know, about a little over 5.5 inches wide. Next, we're going to work on the door. So I'm using this nice blue color. This is I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. Now we're switching gears. I'm going to a 5mm crochet hook, and I'm not doubling up the yarn anymore. I'm just using 1 strand. So I'm going to take this 1 strand, make a slip knot, and chain 8. So it's going to go right here at the bottom of the door. I'm going to skip the first chain and single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet going down the chain until I end up with 7 single crochet. And then you're just going to, once you get to the end, you'll chain 1, turn your work, and now just keep going evenly, even rows going up the door. So you're going to make the door 7 single crochet evenly across until you have 12 rows, and then you can make a slip knot, cut the tail. I don't know where my scissors went, but you'll cut the tail and just weave the ends. For the doorknob, I'm going to use black and then take a piece of yarn. This is probably a little too long. I don't think you need to make it this long, but I cut a long piece. So make a knot, and then on the other end, weave through into a tapestry needle. And then you'll want to go to where the doorknob would be on the door and pull the yarn through all the way to the knot, and then place the tapestry needle close to the project and wrap the yarn once and twice, and then insert it right next to the spot where you pulled the yarn up and through, and then pull it in tight, and that's it. And then you can just make a knot on the back. I'm not too crazy about making the knots on the back because you're going to hot glue the door down, so you can just leave it kind of messy, and then that's the door and the doorknob. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the windows. So this is just 1, and you're going to make 3, 1 for each side and then 1 for the top of the house. So you can use the same gray used for the actual house. I'm going like I don't know if you can even tell, but I'm going like a little lighter because I just want it to look different than the house, even though it kind of looks the same, but I just went on with a little lighter gray and a 5mm hook, and I'm going to chain 5. And then single crochet into the second chain from the hook. I'm just going to tuck the tail in, and then single crochet across, and you'll end up with 4 single crochet for row 1. And then you can chain up 1 and turn, and you'll single crochet evenly across, so 4 single crochet, and you're just going to do that for 4 rows. So 4 single crochet across for 4 rows. Okay, so now I'm done with the window piece. Now I'm going to go do the white trim. So just insert white yarn into the corner, and you're just going to evenly crochet around this gray square. When I get to the corners, I try to do 2 single crochet into the corner, but I'm not really trying to be too perfect about it. I feel like every time I do it, the amount of stitches I do is different every time, but I want to try to get 2 into the corner. And you'll just evenly single crochet all the way around. And then once you get to the first stitch, you'll make another single crochet in that same stitch, slip knot into the first single crochet, and you can cut the end and weave it through. And then now we're going to do the window glass here. So you'll want to make 2 chains of 5 with the white. And then you'll need the hot glue. So just put a little bit along the back of the chain. A little goes a long way because when you press down on it, you don't want it to kind of seep out from the sides. So really a little goes a long way when using the hot glue gun with your crochet projects. Okay, so now that that's glued, all I'm going to do is pull these ends through and then cut them. So once they're all pulled through, you'll just cut them all the way to the end. And then you'll want to make, again, like I said, you'll make 3 of these windows. Next, we're going to do the blue, I'm going to do blue shutters for the sides of this top window. So I'm going to take the blue yarn and chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then yarn over, you're going to insert the hook into the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and make a half double crochet. And then keep making half double crochet all the way across the chain. So by the end, you are left with 6 half double crochet. So this is 5, and this is 6, and then finish that off, and you'll cut and weave the ends, and you'll make 2 of these, and they're just going to go on the side of the window like that. We'll glue them later on. Okay, and now I'm going to just give the top of the house like a little trim. So just take your white and your 5mm crochet hook and chain 15. And then once you make that chain of 15, this will be glued to the top here. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to start gluing all of these pieces before we get into the hydrangea bushes. Now we're going to work on the bush for the hydrangeas. So I'm using green and a 5mm hook, and you can just chain 7 and then single crochet in the next the second chain from the hook and single crochet going across, so you end up with 6 single crochet in row 1. And then once you get to the end of row 1, you can just chain up 1 and turn your work, and then keep continuing in rows. So I did 5 rows for that, and then now I'm going to turn my work and chain up 2, and now you're going to make 2 double crochet in each stitch going across this next row. And now once you've done 2 double crochet going across, you're going to turn the corner and make a half double crochet in the next stitch on the side, and then just make 2 more single crochet down the side, and then you can from here finish off and weave the ends. And you'll just make 2 of these, and you'll just want to make sure that the kind of rounded edge is on the outside of the house, and then this kind of folds up a little bit, or if you want to tuck it back you can, and then you make 2 of them and the other one will go on the other side here. Now for the hydrangeas, I'm going to use these 3 colors. So I have like kind of like a purpley pinkish color, the purple, and then we'll use a lot of the blue. We'll start off with the blue. So you'll want to take a nice long piece of yarn and your tapestry needle. Attach the needle to one end, make a knot on the other end, and then all you're going to do for the hydrangea is on this bush piece is you're just going to make as many French knots as you can all around. So I did this before. So you pull the knot up, hold the needle close to the work, wrap around once, twice, and then insert it not into the same hole, but like right next to it. And then just pull it in, and that's your first hydrangea. And then you're just gonna keep doing this all the way around. Like I'll probably try to make as many blue as I can, and then I'll add the pink and then the purple. And my goal by the end of this is to like basically like hardly be able to see the green. I just want it to be completely covered, like a really dense hydrangea bush that will then be put here. Okay, and then once you're done doing all the French knots for the hydrangea bushes, you can just take your hot glue and glue them in place. And then you are done, and you have this cute Nantucket inspired summer cottage. If you wanted to add maybe like a little chimney, you could change up the colors of your flowers or the door, or you could change up the colors for the whole thing. What I'll probably do is put felt on the back of it, just so it's a little sturdy and not flimsy. And then there's so many things you can do with this. You can put it on a tote bag. You could put it in like a shadow box type of frame. You can just hang it on the wall with like string or on a bulletin board. let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas of what you could do with an applique like this. Let me know if you make it, what you thought. If you have any questions, you can head to crochetbycolleen.com, subscribe to my email list so that way you never miss a pattern, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next time.